Throughout human history, there have been countless kings, emperors, and conquerors. But only a few possessed wealth so unimaginable, so vast, that even today's billionaires look like amateurs in comparison. Some of these rulers controlled not just gold or land, they commanded the resources of entire continents. Their fortunes, converted into modern numbers, reach into the trillions. But their stories go far beyond money. Some built empires, some destroyed nations, and some accidentally collapsed entire economies. Today, we dive into the top 5 richest rulers of all time. And I promise, a few names will surprise you. Nicholas II is a controversial figure, but one thing is undeniable. He controlled one of the richest empires on Earth. Before the Russian Revolution, the Tsar oversaw vast forests, huge gold reserves, oil fields in the Caucasus state, monopolies, railroads, customs, revenue, and the assets of the imperial bank. Economists estimate his personal fortune at $300 to $400 billion, with some calculations going up to $500 billion. Despite this, Nicholas lived a surprisingly modest lifestyle. He preferred simple military uniforms, homemade meals, and quiet evenings with his family. But his unimaginable wealth couldn't save him. Within months of the revolution, an empire built over centuries collapsed, and the last Tsar fell with it. Akbar wasn't just a ruler. He was a master strategist and administrator. In the 16th century, the Mughal Empire became the economic heart of the world. It produced the finest textiles, spices, metalwork, weapons, and massive quantities of agricultural goods. Trade routes stretched from Arabia to China. Akbar's estimated wealth in modern money ranges from $450 to $550 billion. But what made him truly remarkable was his governance. He introduced groundbreaking tax reforms that made the imperial treasury overflow. He built entire cities, including the stunning Fatehpur Sikri, a masterpiece of Mughal architecture. And here's the key to his success. Akbar united Hindus, Muslims, Persians, and many other groups under one system. He created a realm that was not only extremely wealthy but unusually stable, a rare combination in world history. The first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, reshaped the entire Asian continent. When he took power, China was a land of warring states. When he died, it was a unified empire, centralized, organized, and tightly controlled. And every major resource belonged to the emperor himself. He controlled iron production, salt monopolies, all major trade routes, agriculture, weapon manufacturing, labor forces numbering in the millions. His wealth is estimated at around $1 trillion today. Under his rule, the early Great Wall began to rise. Giant highways were constructed. Weights, measures, currency, and even writing were standardized, turning China into one of the most efficient states ever created. But the irony of his life is legendary. Desperately seeking immortality, the emperor consumed mercury pills, which slowly poisoned him. The man who wanted to live forever died from his own cure. Many believe Genghis Khan was the richest man who ever lived. In one way, he was even richer than we can calculate. He controlled the largest land empire in human history, but more importantly, he controlled everything within it. His empire held the Silk Road cities from China to Europe, agricultural lands, trade taxes, tribute from dozens of nations. Historians estimate his effective wealth at $1.2 to $1.5 trillion in modern value. But here's the twist. Genghis Khan personally cared very little about riches. He didn't build golden palaces or collect treasures. He allowed soldiers to keep their spoils and focused entirely on loyalty, structure, and conquest. His true wealth wasn't gold, it was control over half of Eurasia. Mansa Musa, the emperor of Mali in the 14th century, is widely considered the richest person who ever lived, by far. Why? Because Mali controlled the majority of the world's gold supply at the time. Mansa Musa personally owned Enormous gold mines, thriving trade routes across the Sahara cities like Timbuktu, a center of learning and commerce, and a massive army to protect his wealth. His estimated fortune? Somewhere between $4 and $5 trillion in today's money. But the most famous story is his pilgrimage to Mecca. He took 60,000 men, 12,000 slaves dressed in silk and camels carrying hundreds of kilograms of pure gold. Along the way, he spent so much gold, generously giving it away, funding mosques, helping the poor, that he crashed the economy of Egypt and the Middle East for years. Gold prices plummeted because of him. Imagine being so wealthy that simply traveling destroys the financial stability of multiple nations. These rulers weren't just wealthy, they shaped the world with their fortunes. Their decisions, their empires, their ambition changed borders, economies, and history itself. And compared to them, today's richest people are nowhere near the same level. If you want more stories about kings, conquerors, and forgotten empires, don't forget to subscribe. The past still has many secrets left to uncover.